Yo, Cheah, what's for lunch?
Old-fashioned guy like me, how about some burgers?
Oh boy, we got some work to do. Let's get cooking.
I'm a private chef, cook for money, yeah.
Guys, welcome back to What's for Lunch. Today, we have Steve and Cheah in the kitchen. Cheah, we're making burgers. And yesterday on the Yak, you made burgers, and well, how do you think that went?
Not great. I'm not very familiar with grilling techniques or how to grill.
No, it's not. Oh my God.
That's a lot of smoke, is it not?
What are
Whoa!
dude?
Did he flip those?
What is going on?
I don't. He's had one successful flip.
Oh God! That's just a raw burger.
Yeah, that's raw in the middle.
Room for improvement.
It's all right. That's why we're here. We're here to learn. So I'm going to show you how to make this the perfect cheeseburger this time.
Beautiful.
We're set up for failure with that though. You had the charcoal makes it harder, and then that grill is tiny under this hood. It wasn't ideal conditions. I'm going to show you how to make the perfect burger in a pan, but the same technique is applied to grilling. So it's the same way. Everything is going to keep the same. Sound good?
Cool. Yes.
All right. So to get started, we have our ground beef. Now with burgers, you want to make sure you have 80-20 ground beef, which means a fat to lean ratio. So you want a fattier burger. Anything past that, it'll dry out faster. It's not as good. And all we're gonna do is we can shape these into patties. Yesterday you had some pretty big ones too, and they kind of ballooned up on you. Did you notice that, how they kind of looked like footballs at the end? So we're gonna combat that. When you're shaping your burgers, so you don't get that balloon effect, what we're gonna do, we're just gonna set that down, and then you're gonna make an indentation with your thumb on the side. It's that simple. That's all you need right there. And there you go. And then seasoning, we're gonna keep it pretty much just salt and pepper is how I like to do burgers. But then Worcestershire sauce is your best friend with burgers. You can put your garlic powder, your different spices on this, onion powder, some people do chili powder. For me, just salt, pepper, and a burger cooked the right way is all you need. It's perfect for the summertime. We're gonna hit these, just a little bit of salt, just a little Worcestershire sauce, and you can let this sit now for like 20 minutes with this. It's gonna soak in there and be nice, but we can go right away as well. You mentioned that you make burgers in the oven.
Yes.
How? You just you take raw meat like this and you just bake it in the oven?
Yeah, 20 minutes on 400. Gets the job done.
That's meatloaf. That's not, is there any crisp on the top? Is there any kind of?
No, there's no real char.
It's just kind of gray. It's meatloaf.
It's not gray, it's brown. It's tasty, but yeah, there's no desired char, which is why I will be getting a grill or some type of cooking device for outdoors. I think after the other day, charcoal, if I'm being honest, a little overwhelming. A lot of open flame, which I'm a little bit less comfortable with being next to my home, but we tried out a griddle. That worked nice. I've heard some good things about pellet grills, so a lot still left to be explored.
Yeah, the charcoal stuff, because you were at a disadvantage with that. It had to burn for a lot longer.
So the biggest disadvantage about that, honestly, was the charcoal we got had the lighter fluid, which was the biggest complaint from the group. There was like a lighter fluid aftertaste, which we should have had time to burn off, but we're doing a live show.
It's live.
Is a little bit tougher.
This same thing applies to grill. So you want medium-high heat. So you start with a good flame, because that's how you're gonna get that good crust, that good sear, and then we're gonna have a perfect medium rare, medium in the middle, like a little pink. Just
I'm good with that.
They were a little raw on the Yak. You had some spots, but again, the grill fucked you, all right? So we're gonna show you the right way. This is just a little avocado oil going in. You wanna use an oil with a higher smoke point, but like a vegetable oil, canola oil, those all have higher smoke points. You can run into problems with things sticking to the grill, and you have that and you've tried to flip it and it falls apart. That just means it wasn't cooking long enough. So if it's not naturally coming off the grill, just don't touch it, let it, because once it has that sear, it'll release from the pan or from the grill itself. How often would you say you typically cook?
I'm the main.
You're the main cook at home?
Main cook at home. I cook.
And you have two kids?
90% of our meals. Yeah. So in fairness, I used to cook grills on stovetop, but when you're doing it for 4 people and you're doing it in mass, the oven is just a quicker way to do it. I can make 6 at a time.
I don't know if I can call that a burger. That's more like meatloaf, but I see what you're saying. The oven does help when you're cooking for a larger group. Any grill really becomes an oven once you close the lid. It's acting as an oven because it's trapping that heat inside, but you have that open flame still on it. So it's like the broiler of an oven. You can get that effect. So these are going to go down here. Now it's just a waiting game. So letting that crust build. We're not going to touch it. We're going to let these go. And if you want, you can throw a little bit more Worcestershire sauce. Just kind of make a little in that well. You gotta take the cap off.
Take the top off.
Yep. Take that cap off. There you go, perfect.
So how long do you generally leave these on?
See how it's getting gray and changing color? You're looking for just about midway, and then we'll give it a flip.
All the burgers after the first one are much better cooked.
There you go.
Set the bar low, you overachieve.
So we'll go ahead and give these a flip. You've got a nice crust on that.
So what makes Worcestershire sauce the perfect partner for these burgers?
It just has a lot of flavor in it. There's garlic, there's anchovies, there's just tons of flavor packed into Worcestershire sauce.
Would you use that to cook with any other meats, like a steak or anything like that?
I usually don't mess with steaks. Good steak, salt, boom, that's it. You're not trying to mask any flavor or add to it. Let the steak kind of speak for itself. Unless it's a cheap, it's like a flank steak or a skirt steak, the London broil, the tougher cuts, then you can marinate those and do other stuff with that.
Do any tricks like put like something over it to make the cheese a little bit meltier, or do you just let it happen naturally?
Yeah, so with the grill, all you have to do is shut it, but if you're doing it at home like this, you're gonna take a little bit of water in either a pan or the lid, and you go in like this. And let the steam, see all the steam's coming up? Cover it. And the steam now is gonna melt that cheese. And look at that.
Ooh, very nice.
Perfectly melted cheese. Go ahead and take these off.
Some good looking burgers.
Quick burger sauce. So, Kewpie mayonnaise. It's Japanese, it's Asian.
I approve.
A little bit of ketchup, Dijon mustard. I'm gonna chop up, this is like a sweet little gherkin. And then if you wanna give that a stir, so let's go with some sauce here. You know what goes perfect with grilling too? Is Pepsi. So we're gonna add a little Pepsi flags to these.
Love it.
And I think we could even bring out, why not have a nice Pepsi Zero here? Let's go back to the Pepsi fridge here. I'm going with a Pepsi Zero.
Yep, love that. Thank
Boom.
you.
I'm gonna crack one of these. Pepsi goes so good with burgers, so good with grilling. I think honestly every crave-worthy bite is better with a Pepsi. So cheers, Cheah.
Absolutely, thank you.
And these are just basic, simple burgers. So I think we can dig in. Boom, and those kept cooking all the way through. So let's have a bite. There you go, Cheah. All right, now next time you make burgers, you're gonna be all set.
Absolutely.
Cheers. Guys, that's gonna do it for this episode of What's for Lunch. See you next time. Peace.
This is really good.